All right, so are you ready for a deep dive today?
Always.
Today we're going to tackle Starbucks.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and not just the should I get a latte or frappuccino kind of chat,
Right.
but a real look at why this coffee giant is facing some serious challenges.
Okay.
So have you noticed any changes at your local Starbucks lately?
Um, I have to say I don't go that often,
Yeah.
but when I have, it's definitely a different vibe than it used to be.
Yeah, like maybe the vibe's a little different or the lines are longer or
Yeah.
just a different feel.
Yeah.
So to help us navigate all this, we've got the insights of Professor Srikant Gokhale,
Okay.
and that's pronounced Srikant Gokhale,
Decent Gokhale.
from Berkeley Haas.
Got it.
This guy is a legend in the retail industry.
Yeah, Berkeley Haas is a great school.
Yeah, and he's not just an academic. He's got over 30 years of experience in the retail world, so he really knows his stuff.
Yeah, 30 years, that's a lot of experience to bring to the table.
Yeah, and he didn't just rely on reports for this deep dive. He actually went out into the field and visited Starbucks himself.
Oh, wow. So he talked to customers and employees and saw things firsthand.
Exactly. He
Right.
really wanted to get a feel for what's really going on.
Hmm.
Boots on the ground kind of research.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And of course, he also dug into articles, annual reports, the whole 9 yards.
He did his homework.
He did his homework. And his blog on this topic is fantastic. It really blends that real-world perspective with all the data.
Nice. So what's the big takeaway then? Why is Starbucks at a crossroads right now?
Well, let's start with the CEO shakeup.
Yeah.
They just replaced Laxman Narasimhan after less than a year on the job.
Oh, yeah, that was big news. I remember that.
Yeah, and he was brought in to lead this huge reinvention plan. Remember they called it the triple shot reinvention?
Triple shot reinvention. I love it.
So catchy, right?
Yeah, very Starbucks.
It was all about, aggressive growth and cutting costs and all that.
Old moves.
Yeah, but it didn't really go as planned.
Really, how so?
Well, the stock took a hit. And even the founder, Howard Schultz, started publicly criticizing the company.
Oh, wow. That's never a good sign when the founder gets involved like that.
Not a good sign.
So what happened? Did they just completely tank the company?
Well, actually, Professor Gokhale points out that Starbucks' year-to-date revenue actually went up 3% compared to last year. So they were still making money. They were still making money.
So it's not like a complete disaster.
No, it's not a complete disaster, but there's clearly some kind of disconnect there.
You think so?
I mean, Schultz's criticism is a pretty big red flag.
True. It shows that something's not working, even if the numbers aren't terrible.
Exactly. And now they've brought in Brian Niccol to try and fix things. He's the guy who turned Chipotle around.
Oh, wow. Another big name.
Yeah, it's a big gamble for sure.
Yeah. He's definitely got his work cut out for him.
He does. And that's where Professor Gokhale's store visits become really interesting.
Okay. I'm all ears.
So remember that classic Starbucks feeling? Those comfy chairs, the inviting atmosphere, the sense of being in a third place between home and work.
Yeah, I always loved that about Starbucks.
Well, Professor Gokhale noticed that that feeling is starting to fade.
Really? How so?
He even included a photo in his blog of one store where the comfy chairs were gone.
Oh, no.
I know, right? And they were replaced with these hard wooden tables and barely any outlets.
No, that sounds awful.
It's just not as inviting anymore, and it's a lot quieter, too. Like the buzz of conversation is gone.
Wow, that's a bummer.
It's replaced by the beeping of mobile order screens.
So it's just become a place to grab your coffee and go?
Pretty much.
Mm.
And that shift seems to be at the heart of a lot of Starbucks' challenges.
How so?
Well, they're trying to cater to these super fast digital natives who just want to grab their mobile order and go, but they're also trying to hold on to their loyalists who want that classic Starbucks experience.
I see. So it's like they're trying to be two different things at once.
Exactly. And it's a tough balancing act.
Yeah, no kidding.
So let's break down these challenges a bit more.
Okay, let's do it.
What exactly is Professor Gokhale pointing to?
Well, he outlines a whole bunch of factors, both here in the U.S. and in their massive China market.
Okay.
First up, let's talk about costs. Inflation is hitting everyone, and Starbucks is no exception.
Of course.
So they had to raise prices, and that daily latte is starting to feel like a luxury for a lot of people.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that.
Me too. It's not exactly a cheap habit anymore.
No, it's not. And Professor Gokhale actually points to a survey that found nearly 40% of consumers are cutting back on dining out because of inflation.
Wow, 40%. That's a lot of people.
It is. So it really begs the question, is a $5 latte really a necessity anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question, especially when you can make coffee at home for way cheaper.
Exactly.
And that kind of leads us to another big challenge, to changing customer behavior. you know?
Yeah, like the whole mobile order thing.
Exactly. Thanks to the pandemic, we've all become so used to the convenience of ordering ahead, and Starbucks has really embraced that. But it's created this weird split in their customer base.
Right, like between the folks who want the classic in-store experience
Uh-huh.
and those who just want to grab their coffee and run.
Yeah, Professor Gokhale calls it the tension between the digital natives and the traditional loyalists.
I like that.
And there's this great phrase from a Harvard Business Review article about this.
Oh, tell me.
They call Starbucks' approach experiential convenience,
Interesting.
which they argue is an oxymoron.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah, it really captures the conflict. Like, how can something be both convenient and an experience?
Right. One is about saving time, the other is about spending time.
If that makes sense.
And if Starbucks loses that third place, feeling that sense of community,
Right.
what makes them different from any other coffee shop?
Right. It just becomes about the caffeine fix.
Exactly. And you can get that anywhere these days.
So many options.
And Professor Gokhale makes a good point. He argues that Starbucks has made choices, in their store designs, in their focus on mobile ordering, that have eroded that third place feeling.
So it's not just an accident.
Not entirely.
It's a conscious decision.
To some extent, yeah.
Okay, so we've got rising costs, changing customer behavior, and this erosion of what made them unique.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah. There's more.
Lay it on me.
Professor Gokhale dives into this whole thing about customization chaos.
Okay, that sounds counterintuitive.
Right, because Starbucks is practically synonymous with customization.
Totally. Like, you can get anything you want there.
Right, all the sizes and syrups and milks.
Extra shots, no whip the works.
But Professor Gokhale argues that all that customization has become a logistical nightmare.
Oh, I can see that.
It's slowing down service, leading to more mistakes, and frustrating everyone.
Yeah, I've definitely been in a Starbucks where the line is out the door and the baristas are just slammed.
Exactly. He found that service times at peak hours have actually increased by 12%.
Wow.
And complaints about order accuracy are up 18%.
Yikes. So they've created a monster they can't control.
Pretty much, and they're trying to address it,
Yeah.
They've introduced new store designs with dedicated cold bar stations and stuff.
Right.
But it's a constant battle.
Okay, so we've covered the U.S. challenges, but I know Professor Gokhale also talks about some big problems in China, right?
It does. China was a huge growth market for Starbucks for years.
Yeah, they were killing it over there.
But now they're facing some serious competition.
From
Local brands like Luckin Coffee.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
They're undercutting Starbucks on price and offering super fast delivery options. It's working. Starbucks same-store sales in China have actually fallen by 14%.
Wow.
While Luckin's revenue has surpassed Starbucks in that market.
That's a huge shift.
The Financial Times even called it a coffee war in China.
A coffee war. I love it.
And right now it seems like Luckin is winning.
Okay, so we've got all these challenges. What does Professor Gokhale think the new CEO, Brian Niccol, should do about it?
Well, he really emphasizes two key things: restoring customer trust and bringing back that magic that made Starbucks so successful in the first place.
Yeah, but how do you do that when everything is about convenience and efficiency these days?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
Well, Professor Gokhale has a pretty radical solution.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He suggests a customer-segmented approach.
What does that mean?
Basically recognizing that not all Starbucks customers want the same thing.
Okay.
Some want speed and efficiency, while others crave that cozy third-place experience.
I get it.
So why not create different Starbucks experiences tailored to those different needs?
So instead of trying to be everything to everyone, they focus on serving specific customer groups really well.
Exactly. He even gives them names: the chill customer and the dash customer.
Chill and dash, I love it.
The chill customer wants to relax, linger, maybe work or read in the store.
Makes sense.
The dash customer is all about speed, convenience, grab their mobile order and go.
That's brilliant. I can totally see how that would work.
Right. Imagine different store layouts, different menus, maybe even different pricing strategies.
So like you could have a Starbucks that's specifically designed for the chill customer with comfy seating, plenty of outlets, a focus on creating that inviting atmosphere.
Exactly. And then you might have another location that's geared toward the dash customer with a streamlined layout optimized for mobile ordering and quick pickup.
No more feeling rushed when you want to chill or frustrated by long lines when you're in a hurry.
Exactly. It's all about meeting those specific needs.
This is a huge change, though.
It is.
I mean, it would require a complete rethinking of their store design, their operations, their marketing, pretty much everything.
Pretty much.
But I have to say it's a really compelling idea.
Professor Gokhale acknowledges that it would be a massive undertaking.
Of course.
But he argues it's the only way for Starbucks to reclaim its unique position in the market and truly address the needs of its increasingly diverse customer base.
Yeah, it's a bold vision, for sure. But, I mean, can a company as big as Starbucks actually pull this off?
You know, it would be a huge undertaking for sure.
Yeah, like managing two different brands, essentially.
Yeah. Professor Gokhale talks about the need for, like, careful planning and execution.
Yeah.
And maybe even a bit of a cultural shift within the company.
Right. And what about those customers who don't fit neatly into either category?
Yeah.
Like, I'm someone who sometimes wants to chill and sometimes just needs to dash.
Right. Good point.
How do they handle that?
Well, he thinks technology could help.
Okay.
You know, they've got tons of data from their app and rewards program.
Yeah.
They could use AI and data analysis to personalize the experience.
So, like, you walk into a Starbucks
Mm-hmm.
and the barista knows your usual order.
Yeah.
Whether you're a chill or dash person.
Exactly.
And maybe even recommends a new drink based on your past choices.
It's like Netflix recommending shows, you know?
Yeah.
They could create a much more personalized and seamless experience.
That would be amazing.
If they can pull it off, it could be a game changer for the whole retail industry. Professor Gokhale sees this as a model for how other businesses can adapt to the, changing needs of consumers.
But what about privacy concerns?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, is it creepy to have all that data about my coffee habits?
It's a balancing act for sure.
Right.
Between convenience and privacy.
Yeah.
But I think if Starbucks is transparent about how they're using data and gives customers control over their preferences, it could work.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive, I have to say.
Me too.
Professor Gokhale's insights are really making me think differently about Starbucks.
Yeah, he really makes you think.
So what's the big takeaway here?
I think Starbucks is at a crossroads. They can cling to the past trying to be everything to everyone, or they can embrace this bolder, more customer-centric approach.
And it's not just about Starbucks.
Right.
These decisions will impact the entire retail industry.
For sure, other companies will be watching closely.
So maybe someday we'll all be enjoying our personalized chill or dash experiences.
It's an exciting prospect.
Yeah. A little unnerving, but exciting.
Definitely. We'll see how it all plays out.
Until then, keep those coffee chats brewing and stay curious out there.